Hey, good morning. It's 7:21 here right now. Um, I wanted to post something about writing. Some of you from Facebook and from my place of work, any of you who watch me from work, you know that I really like to write. And I like to write just about anything. Advertisements, articles, essays, mostly just my short stories and my novel drafts I spend a lot of time on. I wanted to post a few tips to anybody who likes to write anything, really. Specifically novels and short stories. Because I think a lot of people misunderstand the process for creative writing. And they make it out to be a lot more than they should make it out to be. First, writing is a lot of hard work, you know. Writing isn't just something that you can just sit down and write away. Yeah, you can do that, but you have to edit that later to make it readable to somebody. Unless you're just an absolutely perfectly talented writer. And to quote Stephen King, you know, all writers have sinned and fallen short of editorial perfection. And that can be true for anybody, including Stephen King. When writing, you know, a lot of people complain about writer's block. I think, this in my case anyway, writer's block usually happens when one tries to edit at the same time as you're creatively writing. So sometimes I can't help writer's block. Sometimes I get so nitpicky with what I'm writing as I'm writing it that I just kind of slow down to a complete stop for days at a time. And I find that if I can just focus on just doing one or the other, I can get a lot of work done. You know, for example, in the last 2 months alone, I've written about almost 130 pages now of my novel draft for my first novel, and a good several dozen pages for my second novel as well. It is a lot of freaking hard work, man. Sometimes, and it's pretty lonely too, because you know you can't really explain it to somebody because you're not fully immersed in your own story. At least I'm not, anyway. That's me. I write as I go and I edit as I go. You know, I don't make a complete overarching book outline, at least not a very detailed one. I know like the very vaguest beginning, middle, and ending for both of my novels, but they're very vague and open to my own interpretation, which lets me be a little more creative, but I just have a very vague direction to go, and that really helps me to stay focused as I'm writing. So, well, one other thing is when you're writing, don't think about, you know, what the novel is going to do for you. It is my opinion that stories deserve to be written to just to be written. You know, they shouldn't, or at least, I mean, who wouldn't want to make money off of writing, but that's not my sole motivation. The reason why I write is just because, first off, I think it's what I was made to do, and what, metaphorically speaking anyway, I think it's what I do best. And secondly, I mean, I enjoy it an awful lot, despite how hard it is some days, and despite how lonely or frustrating or tedious that it can get. But I like to write just to get the stories on paper and out of my own head. Everybody has good ideas. I think writers just take the time to notice them and put them down on paper. That could be said for an inventor, for any kind of a person who does anything creative, an artist of images, like a painter, or a digital artist, or an illustrator. And I have an awful lot of those friends too. But I guess for any new writer or beginning writer, or any writer really, just do your creative writing. Don't worry about editing until you've gotten some stuff written. It's no use being nitpicky about that which does not yet exist. So, write a few dozen pages, write a couple of chapters, I write a couple chapters at a time before I edit anything. I don't try to write too much because if you edit at all, you're going to have to cut out a lot because some of it might not work. And I don't write just a little bit and then edit because then I just get writer's block again. It's just on a slightly different type of scale. So I write maybe 40 pages at a time before I edit anything. And that kind of works for me. That's at least how I've been as productive as I have been lately, which is a little more than my average productivity over the last few years of writing. But write and then edit. And don't worry about where it's going to go. Just write the story, make it nice, and if you decide you do want to publish it, continue to edit it and make it nicer. And just do some Google searches on how to write in manuscript format. And that's really all I have to say for now on the subject of writing.